Welcome back. Time now for a little game of fact versus fiction. That's where we share some headlines that maybe you've seen online and help you determine which ones are actually real and which ones are fake.
And I think we actually caught Megan Barth a little bit off guard with our last story, which
She
could
probably thought we were pulling her leg.
Yes, that's right. A judge in New York City, or New York, I should say, has granted habeas corpus to two chimpanzees, essentially in effect saying that they have the same rights as humans, or essentially the same rights before a court where they can petition for their release from a facility.
Megan, we're not bananas. Sorry,
okay.
I had to say that.
She had to get that in.
I
anyway,
had to.
Let's go ahead and get started. We will first talk about the headlines, then you can guess at home whether or not they are real or fake. And then on the back end of all this, we will give you the answers. Our first headline, riot police raid family barbecue because of Facebook invite. Real or fake?
Take it in. Next up, one armed man arrested for clapping.
We'll see about that one. And also, scientists target new painkillers from spider venom. And also, Game of Thrones' entire Season 5 has now been leaked by HBO. Your guesses? Do you have them, real or fake? Let's go ahead and take a look at the answers. First, we start with that story about riot police raiding a low-key party. Just got a lot more real. This one is true. A man's 30th birthday party was interrupted by squad cars and a riot van filled with police. Police thought the party planner was organizing a rave because he posted some stuff on Facebook, but all they found was a small party tent and a few burgers on the grill. But you can imagine how...
But laugh about this. I'm sorry, but I'm just imagining this guy. He just invited a few friends, sent out a personal invitation. There you see it. And apparently the tent came down because there was a chopper in the air. Can you imagine? They didn't even have any music out there.
Well, and it's a good thing nobody got hurt because, you know, there have been other cases where SWAT teams have stormed people's houses on accident.
Right.
And folks have wound up hurt. And also there's this trend going on. I don't know exactly what it's called. I can't remember. But folks will call the police on your behalf and say there's somebody in your home breaking in. And they do it as a prank. And then the SWAT team shows up and breaks in. So
people have a weird sense of humor. It's like hacking. I don't get it.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Miranda.
Let's go to the other headlines. One armed man arrested for clapping. Guess what? Also true. Russia's harsh regulations on public rallies prohibit even clapping. This man, Konstantin, I hope I'm saying this name right, Kaplan, there we go, of Moscow. Doesn't sound very Russian though, does it? Was unlucky enough to be convicted of applauding in public. He suffers a fine of $200 for the act.
And again, he has one hand. I mean, maybe trying to bring attention to this, but we take for granted our right to freely assemble in this country and protest.
Yeah.
Not something they enjoy in the same way in Russia.
He's actually registered as a disabled person. He was just trying to take a picture. They confused it with clapping. That's obviously not allowed, and now he faces this hefty fine.
Well, go on the internet and lobby on his behalf. Not that it'll do much good for those folks in Russia. Meantime, scientists are targeting a new strand of painkillers which are derived from spider venom. And this is also true. Scientists in Australia have discovered within the orange-fringed tarantula of Borneo a venom that could potentially become a pain-killing drug. Or a pain-killing drug, I should say.
They're kind of cool looking. Have you ever held one?
No, and I wouldn't.
No?
Not a fan.
Oh,
That's where I draw the line, Miranda.
That brings us to our final headline. Turns out it's fake, as much as viewers would like them to. Sorry, HBO does not intend to leak the entire 5th season of Game of Thrones. I know I'm a huge fan. Just before the season premiere, episode 1, as you may recall, may have heard reports about this, through 4 were actually leaked. HBO is on the hunt now for the pirates, but the leak did not hurt ratings for the hit drama. Of course not.
But I'm sure if folks saw that fake story, they freaked out because this is happening now. We see this with Netflix, and there's also, obviously, based on what HBO is doing now, where they're offering this standalone streaming service, there is pressure in the market now, and HBO feels like they have to react. And we know that Netflix, when they release a new series, they release it all at one time. It's become quite popular for binge watching. And when I first heard that headline, I think, well, maybe HBO is trying to adapt. Maybe they want to release their season so folks are forced to watch.
Like a publicity stunt.
Come on, let's be honest. Everything that these Netflix, the HBOs,
You're
everything
such a
they do
conspiracy theorist.
is a publicity stunt.
But you're a big fan of the show, right?
Of course.
What do you think so far?
Well, I think that I've fallen asleep in both of the first episodes
so far.
Oh,
you don't DVR it?
Of course I do, but I've tried to watch it twice. You know, after I put my daughter to bed, it's
That's
late
not
at night.
Good sell.
No, not a good sell.
I fell asleep.
Both episodes so far, I failed to complete them.
I did not.
I gotta try to watch them. earlier.
If you haven't seen it, it's really, 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 really good.
All right, no spoilers though.
No, I won't.
Much more to come here on Newsmax Now. We're coming right back. We got a look at some of the headlines in Punchline and a look at your final headlines right after this.